When Robin Williams died in 2014, the world lost a legend, but his children lost their anchor. Now, in 2025, Zach, Zelda, and Cody Williams have each carved out lives that reflect their father's brilliance while carrying the weight of his absence. From careers in Hollywood to deeply personal projects, they honor Robin in ways both public and private. Want to know about their lives now? Don't miss out, because the final details will surprise you. Zachary "Zach" Williams. Robin Williams's eldest son, Zach Williams, entered the world on April 11, 1983, during one of the happiest chapters of the actor's personal life. Robin and his first wife, Valerie Velarde, had married at the dawn of his rise to superstardom, when his comedic brilliance was making him one of the most recognizable names on television and in film. Their son was born into a whirlwind of fame, but also into a home that, for all its challenges, had a strong undercurrent of love and playfulness. Zach has often reflected on his early years with his father as being filled with moments of wonder and connection. Speaking to People in 2020, he recalled how Robin would escape the demands of his public persona and spend quiet time with him. "I loved playing with him in our garden or going on walks and popping into the local Japanese toy shop to watch him get so excited over different things," Zach said, remembering the little rituals that bonded father and son. For Robin, known to millions for his wild comedic energy, these were private, grounding moments, chances to simply be Dad. However, life inside the Williams household was not without turbulence. Robin's career was accelerating at an extraordinary pace, and his struggles with addiction and the pressures of stardom weighed heavily on the family. In 1988, Robin and Valerie finalized their divorce after nearly a decade of marriage. Zach, only 5 at the time, found his world shifting in ways he could not fully understand. Yet he remained close to his father, and Robin remained a devoted presence in his life, even as his career took on new heights with films like Dead Poets Society and Mrs. Doubtfire. As Zach grew older, he forged his own path. Unlike his father, he did not initially gravitate toward the spotlight. Instead, he pursued education and later became involved in the business and finance world. But even as he built a life for himself, the shadow of his father's immense fame, and later his struggles, remained a part of his story. In 2014, Robin's shocking death by suicide left Zach reeling. He has spoken candidly about how deeply the loss affected him. "I was left traumatized and feeling extremely isolated and broken," he told People, describing the months following his father's passing as some of the darkest in his life. Zach's grief soon manifested in his own battles with mental health. He began struggling with depression and anxiety, conditions he had already been aware of, but which intensified in the wake of Robin's death. Seeking relief, he turned to alcohol, hoping to numb the pain and escape the crushing sense of loss. Yet, as he has since explained, the temporary reprieve came at a cost. "Ultimately, I found that if I continued living that way, it wasn't a life that was worth living. Something had to give," he said. It was a realization that forced him to confront not only his habits, but also his understanding of himself and his healing process. With the support of therapy and recovery group meetings, Zach began the difficult work of putting his life back together. Through this process, he discovered a deeper purpose. He learned that vulnerability and openness about mental health were not weaknesses, but strengths. Tools that could help others as much as they helped him. "I've learned I'm not broken," Zach said, articulating a lesson that had taken years to reach. "Despite experiencing traumatic events, I can recover. And I am now on a path of healing and being the person I always wanted to be." His words echo the resilience that so many saw in his father, but reframed through a lens of advocacy and wellness, rather than performance and humor. Amid his professional and personal transformation, Zach also found love and stability. He met Olivia June an entrepreneur and mental health advocate herself, and the two began a relationship grounded in shared values and mutual understanding. After dating for 4 years, Zach and Olivia married on October 10, 2020, a date chosen with intentional symbolism. Their wedding coincided with World Mental Health Day, a poignant tribute to the journey that had brought Zach to that moment. The ceremony was small and intimate, reflecting the couple's emphasis on connection and meaning rather than spectacle. Reflecting on the day and the years leading up to it, he told people, "I was going through a challenging time in my life, and she was supportive and there when I needed someone. I'm looking forward to building this life I've always wanted to have and growing together." Their relationship, rooted in mutual understanding and shared values, provided Zach not only companionship, but also stability, a grounding presence as he continued navigating the complex layers of grief, recovery, and self-discovery that followed the loss of his father in 2014. In 2019, Zach and Olivia welcomed their first child, McLaurin Mickey Clement Williams. The choice of first name was deeply symbolic. McLaurin is Robin Williams's middle name, a heartfelt nod to the enduring influence of Zach's father in his life. The birth of Mickey represented not only the expansion of Zach's own family, but also a continuation of the love and legacy Robin had imparted. For Zach, fatherhood became a transformative experience, reshaping his understanding of life, responsibility, and connection. Speaking to People in 2020, he candidly reflected, "Fatherhood completely changes you. To be a present and engaged parent requires focus and commitment to time and an effort that, it's a lot. But the rewards are unlike anything I've experienced before." Those words capture the profound shift that parenting brought into his life, an ongoing balance between challenge and reward, reflection and action, presence and patience. 2 years later, in 2021, Zach and Olivia welcomed their second child, Zola June, expanding their family and further deepening the bonds of love and shared purpose. With each child, Zach discovered new dimensions of himself, as well as renewed connections to his own childhood experiences. His father, who had always celebrated the joys of play, curiosity, and imagination, remained a guiding presence in spirit, reminding Zach of the importance of cherishing each fleeting moment and fostering joy and wonder in the lives of those he loved. Zach's journey as a parent has been inseparable from his work in mental health advocacy. Following the devastating loss of his father, Zach struggled with depression and anxiety and confronted his own challenges with alcohol use. Through therapy, recovery group meetings, and personal reflection, he transformed these struggles into a mission. He founded PYM, Prepare Your Mind, a company dedicated to mental health support, wellness, and resilience. Through PYM, Zach seeks to make resources accessible and to reduce the stigma surrounding mental health, emphasizing that recovery is possible and that seeking help is a sign of strength rather than weakness. In addition to his work with PYM, Zach engages with other organizations focused on mental health and social well-being. He has collaborated with Glenn Close's nonprofit Bring Change to Mind, which is dedicated to encouraging dialogue about mental illness and promoting understanding, as well as Inseparable, a national policy and advocacy group. Through these endeavors, Zach channels his own experiences into action, striving to create a world where mental health is treated with compassion, urgency, and empathy. In doing so, he continues to honor the memory of his father, whose openness, humor, and humanity touched countless lives. Zach has also been deliberate about keeping his father's spirit alive within his own family. On the 10th anniversary of Robin Williams' death in 2024, Zach shared a heartfelt tribute on Instagram, posting a photo of his father from Mork and Mindy, the show that first brought him widespread fame. His caption resonated with both remembrance and reverence. "Today, I'm reflecting on the immense love you shared with all of us, your family, your friends, and everyone you met. You continue to inspire me every single day to do whatever I can to help create a more connected and loving world for our family. Love you forever. This public acknowledgement not only honors Robin's memory, but also models the kind of openness, love, and connection that Zach seeks to cultivate in his own family and community. Zelda Williams. Zelda Ray Williams' birth coincided with a major milestone in her father's personal life. The same year, Robin married his third wife, Marcia Garces, who would become Zelda's stepmother and a central figure in her early life. From the very beginning, Zelda's world was intertwined with show business, and the presence of her father's extraordinary career made Hollywood a familiar, if sometimes overwhelming, backdrop. Despite the high-profile nature of her family, Zelda's early life was rooted in curiosity, imagination, and an openness to creativity. By the age of 5, she had already stepped into the professional world of acting. Her earliest role in 1994's In Search of Dr. Seuss saw her cast as Robin's on-screen daughter, a symbolic introduction to the industry that would shape her future. While many children of Hollywood icons either shy away from or are thrust into the spotlight, Zelda approached her first steps in acting with a mixture of wonder and authenticity, embracing the opportunity not as a ticket to fame, but as a chance to explore storytelling, performance, and her own interests. Over the years, Zelda built a diverse body of work across television and film, steadily establishing herself as a multifaceted talent. She lent her voice to animated projects, including The Legend of Korra, while also appearing in series such as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Jane the Virgin, among others. Each role represented a deliberate choice, a way for her to explore different genres, characters, and creative challenges without feeling the weight of expectation that comes from being Robin Williams' daughter. She has said that, from the beginning, she was motivated less by ambition or the pursuit of stardom than by the sheer joy of acting. Zelda's journey has not been limited to acting. She has also stepped behind the camera, demonstrating her capabilities as a filmmaker. Her directorial debut came with Lisa Frankenstein, a zombie romantic comedy that showcased her willingness to experiment with genre and tone, blending horror, humor, and heart in a way that reflects both her own sensibilities and a broader appreciation for inventive storytelling. In taking on the role of director, Zelda demonstrated that her creative ambitions extend far beyond acting, that she is not content to be defined solely by her father's legacy, but instead seeks to carve out her own path in the entertainment industry. In interviews, Zelda has been refreshingly candid about her perspective on fame, career expectations, and the legacy of being Robin Williams' daughter. In 2017, she told People, "I didn't go into acting with any ideas of where I'd wind up. Maybe this is pessimistic, but I knew I was never going to be my father, so I went into it because I love it." This statement reflects a grounded and mature approach to life in the public eye, an understanding that while her father's genius loomed large, her own path could be distinct, intentional, and personally meaningful. Her candidness suggests a deep self-awareness and a desire to remain authentic amid a world often focused on celebrity and expectation. The impact of her father's death in 2014, when Zelda was 24, was profound. Losing someone who had been both a parent and a role model during such a formative period of her life was an experience that Zelda has described as deeply challenging. She has openly shared that she steps back from social media and public life during poignant anniversaries of her father's passing, taking time to reflect, grieve, and preserve her own emotional well-being. These periods of retreat underscore her commitment to self-care, mental health, and personal boundaries, lessons that were undoubtedly shaped in part by witnessing the complexities of Robin's own struggles. Despite the grief, Zelda has found ways to honor her father's legacy through her work and her personal life. She often speaks of him not only with reverence, but also with a sense of inspiration, acknowledging how his creativity, humor, and humanity continue to shape her choices and perspective. Her dedication to her craft, her willingness to explore new creative territories, and her thoughtful engagement with the challenges of fame and loss all reflect a nuanced understanding of what it means to inherit such a legacy. She recognizes that being Robin Williams' daughter carries both privilege and responsibility, and she navigates that space with grace, authenticity, and intelligence. Zelda's approach to her career and public life is marked by intentionality. She does not chase headlines or conform to Hollywood pressures. Rather, she selects projects that resonate with her interests and values, whether in acting, voice work, or directing. Her ability to balance creative ambition with personal authenticity is a hallmark of her professional ethos, setting her apart from many peers in the industry. Even as she continues to grow as an artist, Zelda remains deeply aware of the influence her father had on her life. From her earliest experiences in front of the camera to the lessons about compassion, humor, and resilience that he imparted. In addition to her professional accomplishments, Zelda has been candid about her personal journey, including the ways in which she honors her father's memory while carving out a life that is uniquely her own. Her willingness to step back, reflect, and prioritize emotional health demonstrates a maturity beyond her years, highlighting the importance of balance and self-awareness in a world that often conflates visibility with value. She has navigated public scrutiny, grief, and the pressures of legacy with thoughtfulness, showing that it is possible to honor the past while shaping the future on one's own terms. Zelda Williams has often spoken with remarkable candor about the lingering impact of her father, Robin Williams, on her life, both in terms of inspiration and loss. In a moving reflection, she once wrote, "Everyone who has dealt with loss knows the pain of certain anniversaries, moments full of memory that come round like clockwork and usurp all others, no matter how hard you may try to prepare for or avoid them." These words capture the reality of grieving a parent as iconic, larger than life, and deeply loving as Robin. For Zelda, those anniversaries and pivotal dates are not merely markers of absence, but moments that evoke the full spectrum of emotion: love, nostalgia, sadness, and a bittersweet appreciation for the time they shared. Speaking to People in December 2023, Zelda offered further insight into the ways her family created connection amid the extraordinary demands of Robin's career. She revealed that because her father's schedule was often hectic and unpredictable, traditional holiday routines were difficult to maintain. Unlike many families who rely on seasonal rituals or fixed celebrations, the Williams household developed their own rhythms and traditions, rooted less in a calendar and more in shared experience and everyday acts of care. "We didn't really have much in the way of that," Zelda said, "but cooking together was a big part of our family. We would eat together every Tuesday, however many family members were in town." These weekly gatherings, humble in form yet profound in significance, became a cornerstone of family life. Despite the absence of elaborate festivities, or perhaps because of it, the shared act of preparing and eating meals together fostered intimacy, connection, and continuity. Zelda admitted with a hint of fond humor that neither her father nor her brothers were particularly skilled in the kitchen. "Being together was the important thing," she explained, "because otherwise, especially with people scattered to the wind with work, it became even more special to do that." The value lay not in culinary perfection, but in presence, in the simple and sometimes chaotic rhythm of family life that brought them together. For Zelda, these kitchen gatherings were more than a practical workaround. They were a metaphor for connection in the midst of unpredictability. Growing up with Robin Williams as a father meant witnessing firsthand the challenges of balancing an extraordinary career with ordinary family life. His comedic genius and humanitarian endeavors often demanded travel, long hours, and public attention, but the Williams family learned to anchor themselves in the small, meaningful moments. Tuesdays in the kitchen were about laughter, conversation, and shared effort, about the act of being together rather than achieving perfection. The kitchen became a space for both creativity and learning, a place where Zelda observed her father's humanity in intimate detail. Even in moments of culinary mishap, the laughter and patience shared among the family became a source of comfort and a testament to the bonds they had nurtured. These gatherings were not just about food. They were about sustaining relationships and reinforcing a sense of belonging. The Williams household, despite its public visibility and the pressures that came with fame, was grounded in acts of love that often went unnoticed by the outside world. Zelda's reflections also underscore the particular poignancy of memory and absence. Even years after her father's passing, she speaks of anniversaries and holidays with a mixture of reverence and longing. These moments are imbued with both joy and sorrow, as the weight of absence is balanced by the vividness of past experiences. Cooking together, laughing at culinary disasters, and gathering for a meal with however many family members could make it to the table. These were not grand gestures, but they were profoundly sustaining. They were rituals that offered both continuity and resilience, forming the bedrock of Zelda's understanding of family, love, and togetherness. Zelda's reflections also speak to her own evolving understanding of family dynamics. She recognizes the imperfection inherent in any household, the missed opportunities, the chaotic schedules, the lack of conventional traditions. Yet she frames these not as shortcomings but as the framework for meaningful connection. Being present, sharing time and effort, and cultivating a sense of closeness in whatever form possible were the defining elements of her family's bonds. In this, Zelda demonstrates both emotional maturity and insight, understanding that family is less about ritualistic observance and more about the intentionality of presence. The act of remembering her father through these experiences also intersects with Zelda's broader life and career. As an actress, filmmaker, and storyteller, she carries forward a legacy of creativity and humanity. The lessons learned in her family kitchen, patience, humor, resilience, and the importance of shared experience, inform not only her personal relationships, but also her approach to her craft. In reflecting on these moments, Zelda illustrates the profound impact of ordinary family life on personal development, emotional intelligence, and the capacity to navigate grief with grace. Cody Allen Williams. As the youngest sibling to Zelda and stepbrother to Zach, Cody grew up in a household shaped by both the extraordinary presence of his father and the grounded, loving environment his mother sought to create. Despite being the son of one of Hollywood's most beloved and recognizable figures, Cody has consistently maintained a life largely outside the spotlight, choosing privacy over public attention while fostering close familial bonds and cultivating a sense of personal fulfillment. Cody's approach to life reflects a desire for intimacy, stability, and meaningful connection, values that were nurtured during his formative years. Although Robin Williams' career often demanded travel, unconventional schedules, and intense public scrutiny, Cody experienced a childhood marked by both affection and structure. Growing up alongside his siblings, he witnessed the ways in which his family navigated the complexities of fame while preserving moments of normalcy, love, and togetherness. These lessons in balancing personal relationships with the public aspects of life would later influence his own approach to family and marriage. In 2019, Cody married Maria Flores, a relationship that exemplifies his commitment to meaningful connection and shared values. The wedding took place on July 21, 2019, a date chosen with deep significance. It would have been his father's 68th birthday. The couple's choice of venue was equally personal and symbolic. They exchanged vows at Cody's childhood home, grounding their celebration in the very environment that had nurtured him. By weaving together personal history, family, and celebration, Cody and Maria honored not only their own love, but also the legacy of family ties and cherished memories that shaped Cody's upbringing. The ceremony itself was infused with intentionality, symbolism, and homage to lost loved ones, reflecting the couple's reverence for family and the emotional depth of their bond. Guests were invited to participate in a touching tribute, holding up yellow roses during a recorded performance in which Maria sang "Never Enough." The gesture created a shared moment of reflection, beauty, and remembrance, linking those present to both the couple and the family members who were no longer with them. In addition to this symbolic act, Cody and Maria lit a 3-wick candle, representing the enduring love and memory of those who had passed. These thoughtful elements highlighted the couple's appreciation for continuity, family legacy, and the spiritual and emotional significance of marriage beyond the public spectacle. The wedding drew the admiration of Cody's siblings, particularly Zelda Williams, who expressed her joy and pride on social media. In a now-deleted Instagram post, Zelda wrote, "To at Maria Flores Williams and Cody, you are a light in all of our lives. I'm so grateful to have paid witness to your love over the years, to have watched you grow and care for each other in ways we should all be so lucky to experience." Her words capture both the admiration and emotional support that define the Williams family, highlighting the ways in which love, witness, and shared history shape their relationships. Cody and Maria's life together reflects a quiet, intentional approach to love, family, and personal growth. While the public often knows Robin Williams through his films, performances, and iconic humor, Cody's narrative is one of steadiness, privacy, and deeply personal connections. The couple's wedding, with its carefully chosen symbolic gestures and meaningful setting, underscores a life philosophy that values intimate, heartfelt experiences over spectacle. In this, Cody exemplifies a thoughtful stewardship of both his own life and the memory of his family, navigating the balance between honoring the past and building a fulfilling present. Beyond the wedding, Cody has maintained a commitment to his family and to nurturing the bonds that connect him to his siblings, mother, and extended relatives. Growing up with Zelda and Zach, he observed the ways in which grief, love, and memory interwove into daily life, shaping his own approach to relationships. He has consistently prioritized privacy, focusing on meaningful milestones and personal growth over public exposure, a contrast to the intense public attention that defined much of his father's life. This approach allows Cody to cultivate a stable, intimate family life, reinforcing the lessons of presence and attentiveness he learned in childhood. In choosing to honor both his father and his family's memory during his wedding, Cody demonstrates a nuanced understanding of legacy. The incorporation of symbolic gestures, yellow roses, a musical tribute, and the lighting of a 3-wick candle emphasizes the importance of remembrance, continuity, and shared emotional experience. These elements serve not only as a tribute to those who have passed, but also as a reflection of the values Cody carries forward: love, connection, and intentionality in every aspect of life. What do you think about Robin Williams' children? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.